Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rochelle. It is lovely to have you here. Or if you're new, my channel is all about slow intentional living with a young family. I post 2 videos a week. On Tuesdays it's a vlog and on Fridays it's chatty videos like this one. Yeah, so today's video is going to be probably my final pregnancy update in terms of my actual pregnancy symptoms and all the rest of it. Next week I will also have what's in my hospital bag video and a couple of other things coming up for you. I've been tracking my pregnancy on my Fitbit, so I'm excited to share that. I'll probably share that about a month after the baby has arrived, so that we can see the comparison in the month after the baby has come out as well. So stay tuned for those ones. If you want to see those, please subscribe. Yes, so today I had my 37-week obstetrician appointment. She's really happy with how everything is going, and ordinarily you would see obstetrician every week from this point on, but she said everything is looking perfect, the baby's happy, so unless anything changes she doesn't need to see me until the 39-week point, which will be it will be my last appointment with her, and it will be about 5 days before the baby is born. I am booked in for a planned or an elective cesarean. I have made a video about that as well, my reasons why we're doing that, so I'll leave that somewhere. I think it's going to appear on that side. Yeah, so if you want to watch that, you can. So I also had, when I was 28 weeks at my gestational diabetes test, I had really low iron, so I had to have an iron infusion. And that has all taken up really well. She's really happy with my iron levels. They're up to 100 or 120 or something, which is significantly increased. And she said it's actually really good. So for whatever reason it was low, I'm keeping on top of keeping it nice and high. So I have been using iron supplements, not every day, because I had the iron infusion and they said like you don't need any more iron, but I have been including Spartone, which is like a liquid iron, in my smoothies, and once a week I just take an iron supplement just to be sure. So she said that was the right thing to do and she's really happy with it. Yeah, so sadly my granddad passed away last week. He would have been 91 next month. So we had to drive down to Grafton at the last minute to go and attend the funeral, and I was able to say my farewells. I gave a little speech at the funeral, which was lovely, but I was quite anxious about traveling because I have been feeling like the baby might come early. Like he has been, my tummy just really contracts a lot. Like I get a lot of Braxton Hicks when my whole belly just goes completely solid. So I spoke to the doctor just to say, like, is it okay if I travel? She said the fact that he's really active is a really good sign, so you should be fine. Like there's no reason why you can't go. So we went, and I was concerned about swelling from sitting still in that position for so long, but I didn't swell up. Unlike on the way home from Easter, we went down at Easter time and my feet were really swollen from sitting in the car that whole trip. So I was thankful for that. The only thing is that I'm not able to wear my rings anymore. I spoke to the doctor about that today. My fingers are swollen, but they don't really, you might be able to sort of see they're quite swollen. It's more so the knuckles, and closing my hands is quite painful. Almost like what I imagine arthritis to feel like. And she said that's probably a little bit of carpal tunnel syndrome. Plus the swelling. So the knuckles are quite tender, and you can see like all the lines and everything are quite red and irritated, so they're quite inflamed. To get to 36 weeks before having to take my rings off, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, it's nothing to complain about really. Yes, so she measured the baby today and had a look. We haven't been able to see his face for the last few visits because he's basically in the perfect position for having like for giving birth. He's head down, he is back to my belly, so he's ready to go. So poor little thing, he's not going to be born naturally, but he's ready to go if he did want to be. But he is also measuring really big. He's in the 90th percentile at this point. He is, you know, they take a measurement of their leg and they take a measurement of their stomach and their head circumference, and they give you a rough estimate of what they might weigh at the moment. And he's measuring to be around about the 3.5 kilo mark. So I think at my 35 or 30, actually it was my 34 week measurements, he was 2.1 kilos. So he's put on around about 1.5 kilos almost in 34 in 3 weeks. So based on that, he could be well, he's definitely going to be at least 4 kilos, but he could be bigger than Max. Max was 4.3 kilos born, and that was at almost 41 weeks. So at this rate, the baby could actually be the same size as Max, if not bigger, even though he's going to be born at 39 weeks and 3 days. So like a lot earlier. Yeah, so he's quite a big baby by the sounds of it, and that makes sense. Like if you see my belly, and I'll show you my belly now. Yeah, so this is my bump. It's large. You can see it kind of protrudes really far forward. Like in comparison. There you go. Yeah, so he is obviously taking up a lot of space. So it's really hard to get any kind of view of his face or anything like that, but everything is looking fine. His heart rate is 143 beats a minute, which is really good. So it's really nice to see that the tail end of my pregnancy is actually going really, really nicely. In terms of my weight gain, I've probably, and I'll cover a lot more about my weight gain and everything when I do my Fitbit pregnancy measurement kind of update video, which I talked about earlier. But I've gained about 13 kilos, which is not too bad really. This time around, I have felt the baby moving a lot more, and I think that has to do with partly with the fact that my placenta is at the back. It's like along my spine, on the side of my spine rather than on the outside, whereas with Max the placenta was kind of like around my belly button region, so I didn't feel a lot of kicking from him. But this baby is really active, especially at night time. You know, I know that a lot of people feel really yucky about themselves when they're pregnant, and they just worry about being able to lose the baby weight and everything. And yeah, for me, I'm not too concerned really. That'll all happen as it's meant to. And yeah, that's the least of my worries. Like I don't really want to be concerned or thinking about, you know, my body or my appearance at this point. I'm just looking forward to meeting my baby and to see Max being a big brother, and you know, for us to be a family of 4. And it's been really lovely. Max and Rolly went away to Adelaide for a long weekend to visit Rolly's brother, and they had an amazing time. It was nice to have some time alone at home to just get a few things done. And it was good to see Rolly and Max bonding. Rolly said, you know, how easy it was to take Max, and how much he enjoyed just having that time with him. And yeah, that was really special for them, I think. And it was a nice thing for them to do, you know, with the baby coming along, and for Max to have a little bit more of a bond, you know, a deepened bond with Rolly. Yeah, I think that's really special. So and then unfortunately, as soon as they got back, we had to run down to Grafton for my granddad's funeral. But I'm also really grateful. It was really sad attending his funeral, but I'm also really grateful that it actually worked out to be quite good timing, because if he had have, you know, passed away next week, I wouldn't have been able to go, you know, or even if it was in May or June, there's a possibility that I wouldn't have been able to go. And so I'm really grateful in one sense that it happened when it did, so that I was able to go along and see my family and say farewell to him, because he was a really special part of my life. Today, when I went to see my obstetrician, she arranged for me to go up to the maternity ward and have a chat with the head midwife, just in terms of what will happen in the theatre, because I'm having a planned cesarean. But I also am really conscious of a few certain things that I would like to happen in the theatre, so that it feels as natural and like I've given birth kind of thing as possible. So I went up there and had a little chat with the midwife, and so the obstetrician said that she's really happy to do delayed cord clamping. She won't be able to do the full 4 minutes as they normally would, but she'll be able to do a 1 minute delay. So that'll be enough time to get, I think she said like 80% of the cord blood will flow back into the baby. And you know, that to me, that is reasonable, and it means that I can have the baby a few minutes quicker and pass the baby on to be weighed and measured and have his vitamin K shot. and I have actually opted not to have the hepatitis B, I think it is, shot until 6 weeks. We are in the lowest risk category for needing it, and we didn't have it with Max, and I think just as limited interventions as possible is better, but I can totally understand the vitamin K, so we will get that done. Yeah, so they'll then get Rolly to trim the cord, and they'll pass the baby to me. He'll have a nappy on, but I'll be able to do skin to skin, which was my main concern. What they normally do when you have a cesarean is you get the baby all wrapped up like a burrito, and it's not until recovery, which is half an hour or so later, that you can unwrap the baby and try breastfeeding and doing skin to skin and everything. I particularly requested that I do skin to skin as early as possible. So the plan that I came up with the midwife, so when I went up there I was thinking I'm gonna have to go and plead my case and you know, have a bit of a showdown about what I would like to occur. And I don't know why I felt that way. I guess because I'm not very good with confrontation, but also because the obstetrician had said, look, they're not comfortable to do skin to skin. So, but you can go up there and chat with them and see what you can come up with. So I went up there thinking that I was going to have to like say, you know, we need to like come up with a plan. But the midwife said to me, the first thing she said was, look, we have our procedures and this is how we would normally do it, but at the end of the day, it's your baby, so what you want is priority. You let us know what you want to occur and we'll make it happen for you. So I was just absolutely so relieved to hear those words. I almost cried. I was like, thank you so much. So what they thought that I was wanting was to have the baby put on my chest immediately, rather than weighing and measuring him and everything, and like kind of doing that later. But I'm quite happy for them to check him over, and what they worry about is because the baby comes out wet, obviously, and the room is really cold, so they were thinking that I wanted them to put him on my chest and clean him up and do all the measurements and vitamin K and everything on my chest. Whereas my intention was really just that I didn't want to get this baby wrapped up like a burrito and all I can see is his little face. So they'll just do his APGAR test, they'll do his measurements and everything. Rolly will cut the cord and then they'll pass him to me. So I'll be able to have him, they'll unbutton my shirt, I'll be able to have him down my top, just on my chest, with no and then a blanket over the top. And that will happen within about 4 minutes that I'll get him. So that is really amazing. I'm really happy with that result. It's obviously a little bit different than what would happen if you were to have a natural birth, but at least he's not going to be wrapped up like a burrito. For some mums that may or may not matter, but for me it really matters. So very, very grateful to them for being so accommodating. That is another reason why I'm just feeling really relieved and just really relaxed about the next few weeks. That is my latest update. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about. So you're probably watching this video to find out who the winner is of my Bright Star Kids $100 voucher giveaway for Mother's Day. A couple of weeks ago I posted my little, I guess, haul video, and they were kind enough to give me a $100 voucher to give away. So today I'm so happy to let you know that the winner of that competition is Alex from the Mum blog. I will leave her channel down below and I'll contact her as well directly. So congratulations, Alex, and thank you so much to everybody who entered. Thank you to Bright Star Kids for collaborating with me on this. It was a really fun thing to do and I feel very grateful that you wanted to work with me, so thank you. And yes, thank you very much for everybody who watched that video, who commented and who entered. I really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks again, and thank you for sticking around to the end and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing my pregnancy update. If you do want to see what's in my hospital bag video and my Fitbit pregnancy tracking kind of video, make sure you subscribe. I'd love to have you, and I hope you're having an amazing day. Take care and thanks again. Bye.